I'm going again. I am going again. I am going again. People, this is St. Vincent the Grenadines, favorite and most hated son. I am going again. I am going again. I am sending out some invitation. My name is Alan Palmer, St. Vincent the Grenadines, favorite and most hated son. The diaspora machismo. The diaspora machismo. The diaspora masculinity. Here I am. They interfered with my first video. People tell me if you can hear me clearly, so I can make sure that I am not wasting my time, so that people will watch this and everyone will not get frustrated and go and leave it. People, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I think you can see me, but can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Now people, it is said that the police had took up a woman, interrogate this woman without a lawyer, and now they have coerced her into confessing to a crime that she claims she did not commit. And we know coercion in the police world is as real as anything else. So people, if you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes again, I'm going to go over what I did this morning. I'm going to add more to it. So can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. Kendall Primers, can you hear me? Keldon Patterson, sorry, can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know, let me know, let me know. And if you're going to hang out with me for the next couple of minutes, share this video. The police say they took up a woman who confessed to the crime of injuring Shit Stain yesterday. Right? So we're going to deal with that. The woman's lawyer said that she didn't confess to anything, but she was coerced by the police into confessing to a crime that she did not commit. People, coercion is real. When police get you in their custody and you're there alone with 20 of them, or how much of them around you, your liberty is being taken away. They can basically get you to say and to do anything they want to. Coercion is real. So if this lady, they didn't have any evidence to say, but they pick up a lady and they pin the blame on her. And that is what? Nice, Mr. Patterson. Nice. So now they are pinning the blame for the boss head, for the PM boss head and that lady. You understand? But this is just another unfortunate situation. People right here, I am outside. Oh my, don't think you could see it. Let me see which one I have to move. Right where I'm here, I am outside the Rose Garden. Right? This is the outlook from the outside. This is the park outside. Too much people is in the Rose Garden for me to go in there and do this video. It makes it too easy for them to interrupt the video. So yeah, people. And if you notice there, right? Let me go up a little closer for you to see them. That is an Indian family. They're gonna run now. They're gonna run. Their mission here is to try and interfere with the video. You see what happened? These people send their son to California, a boy, and today he's a girl. You see them right there? Yes, they have nothing to do but to come here and try to interfere with the video. They send their son to California, a boy, and today he's a girl. standing up with his hand. If you see him a while ago, I had to talk to him, tell him to stand like a man. Yeah, that is them there. So now, people, let us get into the meat of the business. People, if I tell you, I have been a police officer for 14 years, right? Police coercion is real. You have to remember, when a police arrest you, take away your liberty, you have no control over where you go, what you do, right? When they take you in their station, where they are familiar with, where everything they do, they have a control over you. They can basically get you to say and to do anything they want to. Anything at all you want to. You understand? So when this lady says she didn't do anything, but the police force her to confess, you have to believe her. I believe her. I believe her. You understand? I believe that lady didn't do anything. I believe they are scapegoating, as Ralph Gonsalves is accustomed to do. He takes advantage of women. When he is not raping them, he has people like Elson McLeish or Elson Quick, whatever his name is, go on the radio and lambaste them and make them feel stupid for speaking about their abuses. Right? When you're not sexually assaulting them, now he's pinning crimes on them. So people, that is what I was talking about this morning. When this and yesterday, when this man take the time to go on radio and television, social media, to threaten people's survival, to threaten people's ability to be able to feed their families, he must get what he take. You understand? He must get what is coming to him. Everything that he gets, he must take it, because he deserves everything that came to him. You understand? So people, you have to join me. We will find out the name of this lady, and let us send some money for her, because I know probably she's unemployed. Secondly, she take an action that many grown men and women were afraid to take if she did take it. I'm not saying she did, but if they're accusing her, we are not saying that she did it, but we have to help her in some kind of way. People, if you're going to help this lady, if you're online with me here, and you think you could find it in your heart to help this lady by sending her some money so that she can take care of her business, not necessarily her lawyer fee. Let us hope that Kay is going to do this case for free, because the chances are she will not be able to afford to take care of her business at her home. So let us help her in her home. If you agree with that, people, let me know. Let me know. Let me know if you think this is a fair idea for us to send. If you are in England, you could send a 20 pounds. If you are in America, you could send a 50 US, 100 US, whatever you can send to this lady. Let me get together and send it. If you want to know her name, call me back next week. I will ask Kay what is her name, because I have to send some money, Western Union, for this lady next week. You understand? Next week I'm going to send some money in Western Union for this lady, because she is in deeper than she really want to be. And I know that the police will coerce her. You see what they do? They will look for a simple mind. a person who is afraid and frightened, who's easily manipulated, and they will try to coerce them. And that is how they work. They will never go and look for a strong man who ain't afraid. They go and look for a simple woman. And they probably had this woman in the station all night. You understand? And they coerce her and tell her that if she confess, she will get to go home and all this kind of thing that they use. If you confess, you get to go home, you get to leave here, you get to go to your family. And that is how the police work. I have never done these things as a police officer, but I know I've seen them done. And even the stinking, worthless Los Angeles Police Department official tried those things on me. Huh? Tried those things on me. A strong black man think I am a little American boy. A little American boy who afraid to be arrested, who afraid to sleep in a cell. But they will send me out and all kind of thing. You understand? Corrosion is real. I believe Shit Stain have picked up one of his victims, one of the lady that he raped, who have not been very cooperative with him, who don't want nothing from him but want justice. And he's now trying to pin it on her. People, I don't know what are your financial condition, what are your financial position, but I think it is fair for us to send some money for this lady. Even if it means we have to miss a meal or not. Let us come together as Vincentian within the diaspora. Right? And let us show our love to our sister who Ralph Gonsalves probably have raped and will try to take advantage of by pinning his boss head on her. As a matter of fact, it's not really a serious incident, you know. It might be wounding. It can be wounding with intent. And it can't be indictable wounding. Because here we have Mr. John who was shot in the leg, who have a broken leg, and was taken to court summarily. So it will be interesting to hear. It will be interesting to hear. Because you think so? I think he planned the whole thing too. Forget sympathy, but he ain't getting no sympathy from me. Of all the people, he not getting no sympathy from me. So what about the arrest of the lady? You think the arrest is planned also, Miss Five? Huh? You think Shit Stain nominated this lady to be arrested, or the police just pick up someone to pin the blame on? Because it would help to know what are the consensus in this case. You understand? It will be interesting to know how they decide, how they determine it was this lady, why they pick her up. Is there someone who witnessed the event and give them the information? Hey, Cathy Clem, how you doing? My sweetheart, is there someone who witnessed the event and give them the information? And if someone witnessed that event and give them the information, right, that person have to come forward as a witness. And it will be interesting to see who was the person that pinpoint this lady. Because I will tell you, the police officers was not in a position to see what happened because their back was turned from where the missile came. They were facing Ralph Gonsalves. Their back was turned. It's not to say their back was to Ralph Gonsalves. They were facing Ralph Gonsalves as he was trying. They were facing Shit Stain as he was trying to move. So their back was turned from whence the missile came. That is why they were able to put their hands over his head. Right? And we're still not even sure. I don't have any live video. Miss Fife, I doubt they have any live video. They have a little thing there, and it seems like it's a camera from inside the car. Right? It seems like it's a camera from inside the car. But they don't have no live video. You understand? They don't have any live video at all where this thing is concerned. So, you think he blade himself with like those wrestlers do? Where they cut themselves to give a dramatic effects? Wrestlers in professional wrestling, they do that, you know, they cut themselves to get they cut themselves with a razor blade to get a dramatic effect. It will be interesting to see, to hear the size of the laceration that he get. Because it have to be on the medical report, the size of the laceration. Take care, it's not a razor blade cut he have, you know. Take care, it's not a razor blade cut he have, you know. Where he let one of his police blade him in the back of his head, you know. To gain sympathy. You understand? And as I said this morning, I want to see how strong Oswald Robinson is. If Oswald Robinson is going to back down because the Prime Minister make him feel guilty. If he's going to encourage the teachers to drink the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. I want to see how strong Brenton Smith is. If Brenton Smith is going to back down and allow the police to drink the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. You never know, Cathy Clem might be fingernail too. Might be his fingernail also. Cathy Clem, don't forget we have a date later. We have a date later to come live together. So we can talk about all this later too. We'll talk about all this later. But you know, they sabotaged my video this morning. So I have to go and download it and re-edit it and take out the missing part and repost it. These people, you see, another thing, you know, they say $195 million was missing from the treasury, right? All that time, I was doing videos, I was making Facebook page, I was telling them that Ralph Gonsalves is coming to California. I told them Ralph Gonsalves having $100,000 party, renting beach hotel to have party. I was telling them Ralph Gonsalves having sexual orgy with young Mexican boys. I was telling them all of this. I told them Ralph Gonsalves gave the LA County Law Library a whole series of computers. I told them Ralph Gonsalves went to the Santa Monica Library. He gave them a series of state-of-the-art printers. So now, dotish man Dr. Friday is coming and talking about $95 million is missing. It is expected. I have been warning you all about Ralph Gonsalves' behavior for the past 10 years. What you have been doing, how you have been coming to California, what you have been doing in California. I've been warning you all about it. Then you all talking about Ralph Gonsalves spend $100 million without approval from the parliament. I've been warning you all about this thing long time. You think those money will ever be accounted for? Those money will never be accounted for. Because Ralph Gonsalves has somehow convinced them that I am the bad guy. You understand? You have convinced the homosexual that in my St. Vincent, homosexuality will not exist. You tell them that they won't have abortion. If you ever have an abortion, he hates you. You tell them all kind of thing about me. I don't hate people. All I know is that some people, because of the action, won't make it into the Father's kingdom. And homosexuality is not something that you encourage in your community. Because what happens? When you participate in homosexuality, you know what happens, right? You become totally and permanently estranged from the Most High. Demons can possess you and you become a slave. Like these slaves. In California here, the same thing with abortion. So who will allow, knowing that is why C.N. Marshall is going against his conscience. That is why Noel Jackson is going against his conscience. That is why Burns Bonady is going against his conscience and their teaching. That is why people like Casper Landon have went against their conscience and their teaching. That is why, what's his name? The young lawyer there. Not the young lawyer, the old lawyer there. What's his name there, man? Jomo Thomas. Have to go against their conscience. Because Ralph Gonsalves are their masters. That is why Dr. Friday has to stoop to everything that Ralph Gonsalves says. Because Ralph Gonsalves is all of their masters. He's all of their masters. You think Friday them free? Friday them not free. That is why anything he says you have to do. You all think homosexuality and abortion is easy? Let me tell you something happening here. When people are arrested and sentenced to prison, when they are given 20 years with the possibility of parole, they never get parole until they do homosexuality. I'm telling you, they never get probation until they participate in homosexuality, no matter how good a prisoner they were. My leaf is blowing away. No matter how good a prisoner they were, before they can get parole, before they can get probation, they have to put their dick in somebody's ass or take a dick up their asses. And this is the truth. Because the Caucasians will not rest. They will not give them their freedom until they have made them into slaves. And that is why people like C.N. Marshall, who come up in a Christian background, that is why people like Noel Jackson, who spend his life fighting for workers' rights, have to now betray the workers that are paying him. That is why people like Burns Bonady, who spent his life fighting for workers' rights, have to now betray the workers that are paying them and that have paid them over the years. That is why certain lawyers that have a pull, who you think should be in the forefront, can't come in the forefront because they're slave too. They are relegated to their offices to work in their offices. They can't come out and contribute. People, all my think I ain't making sense, you know. But you don't know how this thing is a passion for me, because I understand what it is. I know what it is. I can feel it. I know what it is. The most I show me these things. But anyway, people, Mikey, who can give them the sympathy? I ain't giving that man no sympathy. Let the man take what he get. Let that man take what he get. You understand? And it will be interesting to know who was the one who accused this woman. It will be interesting to know who was the one who accused this woman and say that this is the woman who threw the missile. You understand? So people, as I was saying earlier, let us join together. I don't know who this woman is, but I'll come back with another live video. I'll find out who she is. What is her background? What is her name? And I'll do some groundwork for us. And we might have to chip in and help this lady take care of her financial needs. Not necessarily a lawyer fee. Because Kay Bacchus Brown, Gill, whatever her name is, Kay is making enough money, and she should be able to do this pro bono for this sister of ours, who is possibly who's possibly a rape victim. You understand? Who's possibly a rape victim. Mike, you send a request to come. I accept your request. Let me see if it will come. It added, it declined. Did you decline it? It was adding and then it declined. Right? Margaret saying is one of his leprechaun hit him in his head in the plan to play the sympathy card. I believe so. I believe it's one of his leprechauns. Now they want to blame this woman. Yes, it's one of his leprechaun hit him in his head. It's one of his leprechaun hit him in his head. And guess what? He deserved the blow. Whether it's one of his leprechauns or not, he deserved the blow. You understand? Should it be me being there to hit him in his head or whack him with a bull pistol over his head? You understand? I am a little disappointed too. I hope the next time I hope the next time we get it more solid than that. You understand? All the raping this man do, a little laceration by his side, that can compensate for what he did to Michelle Andrews, that can compensate for what he did to Margaret Parson, that can compensate for what he did for Faith, that can compensate for what he did for Miranda Woods, that can compensate for what he did to Corporal Duncan's little niece, that can compensate to what he did to little Pinky, Alana Bolton, 12 years old, raper, that can compensate. If you see how Pinky come fat because she never get, Pinky big like a whale because Pinky never get any counseling or any treatment for her abuse from Ralph Gonsalves, a big hardback man with a law degree, having sex with a little 12-year-old, 11, 12-year-old, and tell the girl mother that Pinky gave him. How a 12-year-old could give you sex? Huh? How a 12-year-old could give Ralph Gonsalves sex? What name so? The same girl who says she can dig out your eye, your other eye. How a 12-year-old could get a 12-year first form student at the girls' high school? How come a 12-year-old girl could get Ralph Gonsalves sex? Pinky mother name is Yvette. She's in New York, going to ask her. Ask Pinky. Pinky have never denied they say yet. All Pinky they say she never rape her. But the law say a girl under the age of 15 cannot give consent. In America, call it statutory rape. In Simply call it carnal knowledge, unlawful carnal knowledge. You understand? So that little busset can't compensate. And dotish man Dr. Friday. Dotish man Dr. Friday. Trump, not even an opportunity to try to say that Ralph Gonsalves, you win is blowing on my paperwork, people. You know, a sensible person would have said, a sensible person would have said, I don't condone violence as a politician. But Ralph Gonsalves have to play, Shit Stain have to take some form of the blame. Because when you are threatening to take away people's livelihood, you're going to stir up anger. Because you have to remember, you know, people, don't pretend that you all don't know. Sometimes one person working and taking care of 3 and 4 households with a small salary. So when you take away one person's job, you are turning down the plates in 3 and 4 houses where they can't eat because the chief breadwinner, the only worker in the family who's taking care of 3, 4 houses, are out of a job. You have to remember the seriousness of this man's threat. You understand? to take away people's job because they will not drink the poison. Because Jim Jones can't get the people to drink the poison, he wants to take away their ability to take care of their children. And I don't know if some of you see the letter, the racist letter that he wrote. Who sent me a voice message here? I don't know if some of you saw the racist letter that he wrote. Huh? Calling protesters violent, angry mob. Let me see if I can find it. This is what Shit Stain have to say. No lawless mob will prevent him from bullying the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No lawless mob will prevent Shit Stain from bullying and dictating to and enslaving the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No lawless mob will prevent Shit Stain from bullying, taking advantage of, enslaving, raping the women of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No lawless mob. That's what he called you about when he was the leader of the mob in the year 2000. It wasn't lawless because you know he's Caucasian, he's a Portuguese. He claimed white privilege. So he has the right to convene a mob, to have them break the law of the land, but they are not lawless. But some other people who participate in an event where he get law, where he get a little injury, where he probably cut himself, he call them lawless. No lawless man, this is what Ralph Guns, people listen carefully now. No lawless mob will prevent him from bullying the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from raping the woman of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from firing people who don't want to comply with him in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No lawless mob is going to stop him from doing it. No lawless mob is going to stop him from stealing $95 million from the treasury to come to California to buy computers, series of computers for the Los Angeles County Law Library. Hey, the County of Los Angeles have a budget, right? That is bigger than Trinidad and Tobago. That is bigger than St. Vincent and bigger than Barbados combined. And we're talking about US dollars. But the dumb, no lawless mob, Shit Stain, come and give them a series of state-of-the-art computer system. The city of Santa Monica has a budget that is bigger than Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent combined. And the stupid Shit Stain went and give one of their libraries, the Santa Monica Public Library, a series of state-of-the-art computers, printers. People, but no lawless mob will stop Ralph Gonsalves from raping the woman of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No lawless mob will stop Ralph Gonsalves from bullying the boys and Pauslat of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No lawless mob will stop Ralph Gonsalves from disappropriating the funds in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In other words, no lawless mob will take away the enslaved reign of Ralph Gonsalves over the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me see who's... Mikey, I'm adding you again. Bring Michael Brown on camera. This Facebook will implement all kind of rules just for me. All kind of rules just for me. I know this is acting, Mikey. Right? Yes, Mr. Brown.
Man.
What's going on?
Long time to see, man.
Long time I see. Trying to get you for the life for the longest while.
Yeah, but I'm here with you. We're gonna put this thing into proper perspective.
Right, let us do that together.
Yes, we know the situation in Winston and the Grenadines that the main focus of this prime minister is to shift the narrative
Yes.
because he was on the he was on the receiving end of a lot of issues in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He was at the receiving end with
Uh,
the Ashel Morgan in the judicial system. He's
right.
on the receiving end in the economic system. Complete management of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
You're correct.
He is at a loss.
Mm.
Now, I was looking for him to play this card long time. This man is so sick that he could stage that event just to play anti-Vincentian mind
Sympathy,
with,
yes.
with his mind game. And then he's gonna come right back now, pick up somebody he know the evidence is not there. But before this case even vetted out, he's gonna come and tell the people, oh well, I forgive them. It's because of the situation that at the moment, and he's gonna make sure he pivot everything, and
He's going to try to be the good guy in this whole situation.
yes, and his intention and his minions, them is gonna come out and say, you see how nice the prime minister be? He get about said, and look, he forgive them. Yeah, this guy is so sick. It's a game he's gonna play. Stage that whole situation and have his son coming in the parliament now and telling people about if you know anything, forgive yourself up and all kind of thing. All the time, they know his game, they play the mind game and the Vincentian people and up to now.
It's game. It's a game. But you see, Mike, sometimes people just try to play a game in hopes that they can manipulate a situation. But guess what? Sometimes those games just backfire. Because what is going to happen now? Let us say this is his plan. And he rig it up. Once you have shown people that you are so vulnerable, right? You may open up yourself to some more real attacks. You understand?
Well, to be honest, he should get his head bossed in 50 different places for his behavior and all the atrocities and the Vincentian people.
Yes, but Mikey, could you imagine this? How, let us say all things are equal to what it is, right? You could imagine. How stupid can this man be? You have been threatening people to drink the Jim Jones poison. People who have done their research and have decided that this Jim Jones poison is not for me. People who decided that come hell or high waters, I am not taking it. And you are now threatening their ability to keep a roof over their heads, food on their tables, clothes on their back, to ensure that the children are taken care of, to ensure that the children have food to eat, have clothes on their back, a roof over their heads, and the opportunity to go to school and have an education. So you have been threatening to do that to people. Why would you come out of a car in the middle of a protest, an anti-Ralph Gonsalves protest? Why would you do that? So you see, there's a lot of questions that still have to be answered here, Mike.
Yes. This is why as you said, this is why sometimes, if you really notice, a lot of good politicians, instead of they jump and take a side, they always say, I'm waiting until the investigation is finished.
Yes.
If you're gonna make a comment, you speak about the issues that could drive people to do the things that he's saying. Right. So now a good politician would say, I'm not condoning what happened, but I can see where the situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines could drive people to that kind of behavior. And then you pivot your argument now and the condition of the what he did with the constitutional rights of the Vincentian people, trying to use in infringing on people constitutional rights that was being enshrined in our constitution, like the right to choice.
Right.
You using a virus to get there, which and why instead of you educate the people in the different village communities and tell them the needs to be vaccinated. Take people, credible people, and send them in our communities and educate the people instead of trying to infringe on people's constitutional rights.
Yeah, because I feel, let me tell you something, Mike. We know that there's a lot of people who would rather lose their jobs than to compromise their health to get a job, right? There are a lot of people like that.
Right.
And there's nothing that you can do to convince them otherwise to take the job, to drink the poison. For example, me, I will never drink that poison under no circumstances. There is nothing that you can do. You have to hold me down and you have to forcefully put that poison in my mouth.
I prefer lose my life fighting.
Right.
Fighting than to drink poison.
Than to drink the poison. You understand? So, what I'm saying,
oh man,
as you are saying right, there's a way to get those undecided, those people who are leaning between two decisions. Should I or should not?
Educate
them, coax them, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
But Mikey, again, if you are honest, if you are following the science, it will be a dishonest thing for you to persuade these people because the science is speaking for itself. If you're following the science, right?
If they follow the science, okay, what I'm saying, this thing, if you have the evidence, remember, you have a lot of things at play here. You have the manufacturers don't even want to stand up behind their product. They actually ask Congress to take away the ability from anybody to sue them in case something should happen. So people is going to be skeptical. And people is going to be skeptical of taking a boy. And remember now,
this is how
only US citizen could sue manufacturing companies in America. If you're not a citizen, you cannot bring any lawsuit against American companies.
But wait, Mikey. You have to remember that in this case, that is the general case, but in this case, with these new Jim Jones sip cups, right? Not even the US citizen can sue them if anything go wrong, because look at how many people have had fluctuated blood pressure and died. Look at how many people have had blood clot and died after drinking from these cups. You understand? Look at how many people.
Because Congress protect them.
So
Congress already put a law that protect them.
They can't sue because there is no means of redress. If you participate in this thing, there's no means for redress.
So you're doing it at your own risk.
At your own risk. So how you can tell me you're doing it at your own risk, but if you don't do it, we're gonna punish you.
And then you make the Constitution mandate that you have to. But what kind of game is that?
The Constitution never do that. You understand? I tell people now.
But they're not telling you. That is what he's trying to do with the Vincentian people. That is why the Vincentian people have a right to keep protesting. I thought they would be protesting today.
And this break of momentum is another thing. You protest yesterday, you're not protesting today, you go protest next month again. This is foolishness. You understand? One thing I want, let us go into this. Let us go into this thing. What is your opinion on Dr. Friday's response to the incident yesterday?
Man, what? Dr. Friday is not supposed. Just say, the less you say it would be better, because I write a post and say that the NDP don't need to take any blame for anything, because this protest was put on by Vincent, independent thinking Vincentian and other organization. It was not spearheading this whole thing. And we should understand, when you see Ralph pivot, once you see Ralph pivot this thing, he is making the NDP to be like, if well, is the NDP as the organizer. This protest did not organize by the NDP. This protest was organized by Rise Hiruna, the teachers, the police association. So all he was just supposed to say is that as a democratic society, I don't condone those things.
Did you
But
see?
I can see,
Right.
the issues, speak on the issues that could drive people
To do that.
into this situation, and then you come right back now with the pivoting and start to attack Ralph Gonsalves. You have to pivot and say, where was you, Ralph Gonsalves? Because you was the one who fertilized the situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The environment in St. Vincent was created by Ralph Gonsalves. Ralph Gonsalves is the one who made the country uncomfortable.
So
How
what?
could you make it?
So the question I have to ask now: what kind of opposition does the people have to look out for their interests? Because the opposition is looking out for Ralph Gonsalves' interests more than the people's interests. So what is the use of the opposition?
But this is why people like me and you on Facebook, and I always say, if you notice my kind of approach on Facebook, I don't worry about those little fringes. I attack the snake.
Right.
I always believe it's attack Ralph Gonsalves. I don't worry about even though some of them is Sambos and them little house slaves.
Yeah,
to kill a snake, you have to go after the head.
Of course.
Ralph Gonsalves is who you have to go after. And you have to keep it consistently attacking Ralph Gonsalves and his son.
Yes.
You easing off Ralph Gonsalves. Every time you had him on the rope, you pull back.
Yes.
When you pull him back fast, just attacking the man every day. Every day. I don't care nobody say.
Here another thing. Did you see the letter that he released from his office?
Who?
Ralph Gonsalves.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I know you think about this. In paragraph.
Listen to me. Ralph Gonsalves playing the same strategy that we talk about.
Yes. Listen to this.
Attacking the head.
Right.
That is what he's doing. He went after Mr. Eustace, and the Vincentian people never stand up and back up Mr. Eustace. Only but a few of us was on Facebook defending Mr. Eustace against the onslaught of Ralph Gonsalves and the ULP. He is going back to the same playbook, and he's going to make sure he chains all his guns at Dr. Friday. And look at what he did with the Major. He's using the Major now to drive a wedge between the NDP, between Friday and Liquor. But now this is when the Major have to stand up now and attack Ralph Gonsalves. Because you could see what he's trying to do. He's trying to drive a wedge between the NDP by playing that he called Major and he accept Major call, but he would never accept Dr. Friday's call. So he make it look like if Dr. Friday is the one who was instigated whatever happened to him.
Yeah.
Friday, Dr. Friday.
When you came on, right, I was making a point. He says in paragraph 4, no lawless mob will prevent him from doing the people's business. Isn't the people's business should be following the dictates that the people's want for him to do, or is the people's business whatever he decides to do?
Well, Alan, you see where the pivot, you see where if a politician cannot pivot an argument, you will always lose. No, take the statement forever. No, he's saying that he's doing. I would have come and say, tell me something. You having money in your offshore bank account, and not necessarily Friday should be making those arguments. Yeah. I'm expecting other members of the NDP, the PR team, and those people who call it public relation officers and all those things. I'm asking Ralph Gonsalves, and don't be afraid to go on the radio station because he controls almost all the radio station in St. Vincent. Yeah. Don't be afraid to call them. Say, Ralph Gonsalves, how could you say you're doing the Vincentian people business? You never even explained to us about your offshore bank account. How could you don't even, the murder of Glenn Jackson, you guys are straight underneath the rug. So many things that you leave unanswered for. Yes. How could you be doing the Vincentian people business when you cannot account for $95 million?
But guess what?
Your church system is a muck. Your economic management of the country is in a walk. The healthcare system is a thing. You're talking about doing the people business. Well, if this is the way you're doing the people business, Ralph Gonsalves, you need to retire because you're losing a great matter.
Like, the people say that they're not drinking the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. He is insisting that you must join the gym doing school aid or you lose your job. But he is doing the people's business. And the government workers, people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to whom he is accountable? Who is accountable to whom?
Remember we said election have consequences. We was warning the Vincentian people that consequences of voting against the ULP is to make sure you get a government that will work in your best interest. This government already put themselves in a position that they are already oligarchs.
Yep.
They know they got enough money that they already siphoned from the Vincentian taxpayers. So they believe that they could buy election. They already have those police, the police minions and them behind them. This is something. Ralph Gonsalves don't have to get the majority of numbers in like to say a majority in voters. All Ralph Gonsalves have to do is to control all the radio station and just declare on the morning for election.
Yes.
The ULP win.
Yes, that is
the
what
ULP win.
That is what has happened in 2015. It's 15
yeah.
when Rainy Batiste take up a position that was not hers and declared the ULP.
And Jomo did it in 2010. Jomo did it in 2010, yes. Calling out a whole heap of numbers. Jomo and Renwick Rose, they did it. They yes. control the radio station and bring over information, and then they use the police department with the minion to uphold Ralph Gonsalves win in the name of law and order.
You're correct.
That is the game. That is the game they play. Ralph don't win no election. Ralph usurp himself and the Vincentian people and lose any guns of the police department to keep him there.
Yes, but guess what?
How you gonna get over that?
Guess what? Not for long, not for long. Not for too long, not for too much long. We can't take it. We can't take this too much longer. We can't take this too much longer.
To stand up. Yes. Man, watch. This is why I'm calling to the people to stand up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The people have to take back the democracy. And if Ralph Gonsalves get his head boss 50 different places, he beg for it.
Yes. Calvin Bulls. Hold on, Mikey. Calvin Bulls is saying that he loves what he's watching. He loves the topic. So Calvin, thanks for watching. Share this live. Let me see who else. Cathy Clem. Cathy Clem is claiming that it's a black squad who bust the man head. Right? And anything is possible in this because, I mean, they will do anything.
Yes, they will do anything.
Castle 5 is asking why the hell did he come out in an angry crowd, which is correct. Dolores Findlay. Dolores Findlay says she loved the topic, Mikey. So the response is positive. Now, Mike, let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
Ralph Gonsalves won one election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That is the very first election that he ran in 2001. Yeah. Right? Yes. After that, he was rejected by the polls from since then going back. He never accepted.
He was hemorrhaging.
He never accepted the rejection, and he is always doctoring the ballots to ensure that it reflects his victory. And when he don't doctor the ballots,
the referendum give him an insight. The referendum give him an insight on what to do.
With what to do. You understand?
The referendum list.
That is why he deviated from the legitimate ballot boxes. And that is why he put this plastic tub that could be easily manipulated. You understand?
You know what, Alan, you know what surprised me? Is that the NDP went back into that 2020 election with the same foolish ballot boxes that they were complaining with Sylvia Finley.
They made a case, election petition, with one of the criteria, with one of the points of argument, those ballot boxes. And none of them
went back into an election with the same ballot
did not even see prior to the election to see if that the ballot box situation was remedied and we get the legitimate
remedy.
Nothing to do.
It wasn't remedy.
And that is the kind of opposition leader we have. You understand? When he is not supporting the government's aggressive action against the people, he's lazy in the back so much that he's doing nothing.
Here's another thing I was calling for. You remember when I used to work with the agriculture department?
Right.
You would go to villages, and we call our school in the village, where we would see who farmers, what the needs are.
Right.
The NDP before the election, they were supposed to set the most updated list from the supervisor of election. Scrutinize the village, every household, and make sure that the people in every constituency area is matched and what is on the voters list. And if you see people are being registered there but you cannot find a home, you raise a flag.
Right, right.
No government supposed to tell you on election day that they operating with 2 different voters lists. The one that you have as the opposition cannot match the one that they have.
Yeah, all that is red flags. And as you see, but hey, why you expect people like Friday for do? Friday go in a corner and sit down and say, oh, he don't have what it takes to take any masculine action against Ralph Gonsalves or against anyone who challenges him.
Some of those things rest on the people and the other NDP. Let me tell you something, Alan. There's a lot of people out there in the NDP. They sit their backside down and they're waiting for if the NDP win, they're gonna be ambassador here and they're gonna be
all of them looking for favors.
When you're looking at them this is why I like American politics, you know. You notice the Republican and the thing. The people who get the position in those and the government get put is the people who do the legwork to secure the victory.
Yes, yes.
But it and the St. Vincent with the NDP and other party. They don't want to do the legwork. But the minute the NDP win, you see they come with the chair and they take seat.
And guess what? They're not qualified to do the job, you know. But they want the job still.
Yes, because what? They know who. And another thing again, another thing I just find it very thing. You see all that now so that we need people to do the heavy lifting. The heavy lifting in the NDP. You don't see them making an argument. You don't even hear them calling on the radio to make a persuasive argument. But that election call tomorrow, you will hear people come up from all over. You will have to be asking yourself, are those people still alive? This is why I always believe. If NDP to win tomorrow, you see people like Kenzie King, Adrian, and all those people who doing the heavy lifting, Ween and them. Those are the people I think supposed to be trained. I don't care. People could take training to do whatever. If we are putting idiots in places, you could train people who are willing to learn to do what you want to do in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Mikey, what they're doing, I don't think is heavy lifting. Right? Because let me tell you something, what is happening with these people. You may call it heavy lifting, call it what you want to. These are people who are grandstanding. They are incapable of doing what they are setting out to do. They don't ask for help, and when they get into trouble, they say nobody helped them. Right? They were pointing their fingers at me with Rice Hiruna and say why I don't come and help them. They never asked me for help. They started a group, right? They never asked me anything. What am I interested in?
Alan, listen to me. Nobody never asked me for help. I'm not a member of the NDP. The NDP never asked me for help, but I'm a Vincentian citizen. And I think it's my responsibility.
My effort is for my country. You understand? But what I'm saying,
so
wait, listen to me. What I'm saying, when people take it on themselves to form groups and organizations, right? And they are incapable of living up to the objective of the organization, you have an obligation to yourself and for those people who you say you're fighting for, to ensure that you surround yourself with the people who are capable, people who are thinkers, people who can help you make decisions, right? But you don't just take it on yourself and say, okay, this is our group, we'll do things our way. If you criticize them, all of them jump on your throat. They ain't know what they're doing. They're having a protest. What
But this
are,
is why I
wait,
believe
wait, wait,
argument.
wait. What are the objective of the protest? No objective. Just protest for because of this. Every protest you have to have an objective. What are you hoping to achieve? Because what you will see happen, people get fed up coming out when you're calling them, and they don't have any accomplishment, any victories, any achievements, and you'll see you'll go back to where you were. You'll go back to where you were. So if you only criticize them, you know, and another thing, when you criticize them, they don't look in your criticism for the value that is embedded there. Because when they criticize a person, if you are smart, you have to say, what is he saying? Why is he saying this? What does he mean? Or if you can't figure it out from what is said, call out the person and say, Mikey, what do you mean when I say this? I ain't question,
Okay.
I come hostile. I want to know what you mean, because maybe we could be able to correct something. No, they get offended and they attack you. You understand?
Here what I like to see. Here what I like to see in protests. And Kenson King showed me a flash of it. Is where he used the issues. Because I always believe if I'm in a protest and I'm standing next to any police officer, I think you're supposed to be capable of using issues and put them policemen to stand down. Because you have to show those policemen the issues that affecting Vincentian people, how it affecting them. It cannot be a confrontation. You have to use the issues to educate the people in the protest. You have, okay, another thing, and it's something I learned, you see those things that you talk about with those Hebrew Israelite brothers? When I just came to this country here, me and a brother, I don't know if you know him, Ginger, Christopher Hayde. Anyway, those brothers used to be in New York City. We used to go and follow them, go all up in the Bronx, go by all those libraries. Anyway, Alton Maddock and those brothers speaking about the slave theater, we would go and listen. You have to be able to in a protest to use the issues, just like how those brothers use the Bible and captivate your audience.
But Mikey, this is what they're making their mistakes. The protest is not for the protest. When you are going to call people out to protest, you're supposed to find an avenue to already push those issues so that people could come out on the issues. Listen, the police must not just hear that they're going to have a protest. The police must know exactly what are the issues you're going to protest on, to try
and the issues to make them standing up.
To try to now persuade the police about the issues in the middle of the heat of the argument is a waste of time. And that is why I tell you that sometimes you have to seek information from people to find out what to do. Because all of these issues, you have to find a means, whether it's for flyers, whether it's posters, whether it's radio interviews. None of them bold enough to go and ask Bing or why call him the Too Cool Chris or Luke boy. Look, we're gonna have a protest. Give me 10 minutes on the radio station so we could speak about the issues that we need to deal with. They're afraid. They're afraid to do those things. And if you are going to do that,
you cannot afraid to argue, and that is one of the main reasons.
No, what I'm saying, not afraid to argue, not afraid to argue, afraid to go and solicit from the media houses. Go to the newspaper and say, we're going to protest on Friday. Because everybody knows when the protest is, right? These are the issues we're going to protest on. I want you to run a story on it for us, right? Go to the radio station, go to Luke boy, go to Bing Joseph and say, Bing, we're going to protest. As you know, this is the issue. Entertain a phone call from us so we can educate your listeners as to why we are protesting. Don't think a Facebook post does reach the whole world. It only reaches those people within your little circle. And you have to remember that now, if you want your post to really have any impact, you have to pay Facebook. You have to pay Facebook to push that post for you. Because Facebook is a business, Mikey. I have to go. It's time for me to pray. And I don't like to mess up with my prayer. Oh, people. Now, the television is going to display with the most hated son. I had Mikey Brown with me for a while ago. And it's time for me to pray. So, people, I know you enjoy the conversation. I know you enjoy the discussion. Me and Cathy Clem at 8 o'clock tonight.